Hi everyone, so Eagle here. So you guys have probably already heard of the Arknights global release. So it's gonna happen tomorrow, and everyone is essentially preparing for it. And I just wanted to share with you guys what I had planned. So first off is who do I plan to reroll for? Let me just say that Arknights isn't like Brown does. You don't really need to reroll. You could clear the game without using the 6 stars, even if you start with something like an Angelina. You can still clear the game, and it's Arknights also purely PvE. So yeah, just wanted to explain that for you guys who haven't heard of Arknights yet. So it's a tower defense game, and the units I plan to reroll for are actually either Seige or Silverash. The reason being, I do not want to start with XQSI anymore. So I did start with XQSI in the CN server, and I played in the CN server for around 3 months. So Apple Pie is a really fun unit, and she does excel a lot in the early game. Essentially, a dumb explanation is she hits really fast and she hits hard if the enemy isn't armor based. So if the enemy is armor based, you can go around that by using casters or bringing something with a buff skill, something like that. So it's a big weakness, but it's you can circumvent it. So the reason why I want to go for Silverash or Seige is because Silverash, very dumb explanation again, is a ranged ground guard. So ranged guards, guards by the way are ground units, and snipers, healers, or supporters are how do I say this? Level how do I say this? They sit on the elevated platform. We're just gonna call them tower units. So snipers, etc., they're tower units, and the ground units, having a ranged ground unit is really great because in the later maps you actually only have one or two, not one or two, you'll have a lot less space for the tower. So the tower units are gonna be fighting for space, and Silverash will never fight for space because he's a ground unit, and he will do AoE damage if you skill him up to evolution 3. Some bonuses also is that he can see the, what do you call this? He can see the invisible units, which you also see later on. And what else about Silverash? Silverash also reduces deployment costs, so that's really good. I think he's the only unit who does that. I can't read the Chinese, but I've never had any other unit who could do that. So yeah, that's one more thing that's good about Silverash. So most of these are useful late game, but if you're re-rolling, why would you think about early game? You should be more focused on the late game. That's why I want Seige or Silverash. Now Seige is what you call a vanguard. So essentially, a dumb explanation is vanguards are also ground units, but they have a specific job. Arknights revolve around deployment costs. If everyone started with 1,000 deployment costs, even 100 deployment costs, the game would be much easier. But usually we'll start with few deployment costs, enough for a vanguard or 2 vanguards, and the job of the vanguard is to generate costs. So for example, there are 2 or 3 enemies coming and you want to deploy a sniper. You could do that, but after the sniper kills those 3 enemies, more enemies will come, and your sniper will be overwhelmed. But if you deploy, for example, a Fang or a Seige, over time they will be deploying, they will be earning you deployment cost. They also can be retracted from the map, which is really great. That's why vanguards are the most important unit in the in Arknights. So Seige is the best vanguard because he deals AoE same as Silverash. Her evolution 2 deals AoE every 3 hits, and evolution 3 is really good also. It turns her into a pseudo tank, slows her hits. Every third hit is a 40% chance to stun, so it essentially slows down the enemy's pace. What does this mean? Instead of deploying Saria or something to stall the enemy, you could use Siege for a bit longer. This allows you to send out, for example, an apple pie or a Lisk arm or something, and yeah, it's a pretty useful skill. This means that Siege actually does have long-term usage in the map. You could also remove her from the map and deploy her again. Most vanguards are like that. So yeah, she's just a really good overall unit. I think, I'm not sure, but I think XQSI will help you more in the early game. But again, as I said, if you're re-rolling, you should be looking at the game in its entirety. And if you do that, I'd say re-roll for Silverash or Siege. So that's just my opinion. Take note that I'm a new player. I've only been playing for 3 months, and I'm not a since the beginning player. So some other people might have different opinions. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I already explained the reasons why I like Silverash and Siege over Apple Pie, and I did start with Apple Pie in the CN server because some people were recommending it before, and it helps. It helps a lot actually. So yeah, I also started with Angelina before because someone told me to, but I found out later that she just really likes Angelina. So yeah, I re-rolled again for XQSI. What else? So us new players will actually get a lot of bonus also. We get like around 4,000 Originium. It's not called Originium, or I think they call it Orundum, but I'm still gonna call it Originium because that's how I've been calling it since the start, because it was Chinese before. So yeah, the Originium is the gacha currency. In Brown Dust we call it diamonds. So yeah, 3,800, or yeah, around 3,800. That's a lot. You can that's so many gacha pulls already. So it's gonna be easy to reroll. So yeah, you should be able to pick who you want. But remember again, Arknights isn't a game where you need to reroll. The easiest explanation, if you want to reroll, just get Silverash, period. But Siege is also a good consideration. XQSI, yeah. Apple Pie is pretty good too, but if it was me, just personally, it's either Siege or Silverash. What else? So we did get a million pre-reg, including the Japan server. And because of that, the devs decided to give us a 5-star selector. And the selector ticket contains, I think, Pramanix, Red. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry, English is not my first language. Pramanix, Red, Silence, and Lisk arm. So who will I get? I will be getting Lisk arm because I do like the design, and I like that she's a tank and then she has a gun to specialize in killing the air units. It's just a really basic but really fun mechanic for me. So that's the only reason I'm getting her. I'm not sure who to recommend there. For me, they're all good. Pramanix is really fun with, especially when she heals, she kind of dances. I like the animation, but out of all of those, maybe Silence is the most useful. But yeah, I'm going for Lisk arm. So that's about it. And before we end, I want to show you guys the new skin for Jessica. So this is like the third, I think this is like the third or fourth skin, because he got the bio. Yeah, it's the third skin. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I do plan to make more Arknight videos in the future. but not as often, because I see that a lot of YouTubers are already creating very useful Arknight videos, and I don't want to clog up YouTube with the same type of video, so I'm still going to be focusing on brown dust. So that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching.